Hey, you've been lied to. Cancer doesn't just strike out of nowhere like a bolt of lightning. It feeds, it grows, it spreads, and in many cases, the trigger sits quietly in your refrigerator, waiting for the next bite. You might not see it, but your daily habits could be giving cancer the exact environment it needs to thrive. And worst of all, you may think you're eating healthy. But what if I told you there are 10 powerful foods that don't just help? You'll want to believe they can kill cancer? They don't come in fancy packaging. You can't buy them in late-night TV ads. But they have one thing in common. They terrify cancer. This isn't about magic bullets or miracle cures. It's about the hard science behind how food fuels or fights cancer at the cellular level. And once you understand what cancer wants, you'll know exactly how to take that power away. Let's get real. Cancer cells are abnormal. They grow fast, ignore the rules, and spread like wildfire. But they have one massive weakness. They're addicted to sugar. It's called the Warburg effect. In short, cancer cells crave glucose like a wildfire craves dry wood. Unlike your healthy cells that efficiently create energy using oxygen, a process called oxidative phosphorylation, cancer cells go for speed. They rely mostly on a process called glycolysis, which is less efficient but incredibly fast. Guess what fuels glycolysis? Sugar. So if your blood is constantly saturated with glucose from bread, pasta, sodas, or so-called healthy fruit juices, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding cancer. Now imagine cutting off that fuel. Imagine creating an environment in your body where cancer cells can't find their favorite food, and where your healthy cells grow stronger, faster, and more resilient. That's where these 10 foods come in. We're going to break down each one, explain what it does at the cellular level, and more importantly, how it starves, blocks, or weakens cancer's ability to grow. We'll also expose the hidden enemies, those foods that seem harmless but ignite inflammation, overload your liver, or hijack your hormones. But before we dive into food number 1, let's zoom out. Cancer doesn't begin with a tumor. It begins with an internal environment that allows bad cells to survive and replicate. That environment is shaped by 7 powerful forces. 1. Elevated blood sugar, glucose metabolism. 2. Chronic inflammation. 3. Oxidative stress. 4. Chemical exposure and toxin buildup. Weak immune surveillance. Hormonal imbalances. 7. Poor gut health. These are the 7 deadly doors cancer walks through. And every food you eat is either closing those doors or throwing them wide open. So when we talk about anti-cancer foods, we're not looking for superfoods with magical claims. We're looking for real, whole foods that do one thing very well: restore balance to your biology. Let's begin with the first food that flips the script. Avocados. Creamy, rich, full of healthy fats, and almost no sugar. Avocados don't just taste good, they nourish your body at a cellular level. Their high content of monounsaturated fats makes them a blood sugar stabilizer. That means less glucose for cancer cells to feed on. They also contain powerful antioxidants like glutathione that help combat oxidative stress, another cancer trigger. But here's the real magic. Avocados help turn off chronic inflammation. This matters because inflammation is cancer's accomplice. It weakens immunity, damages healthy cells, and opens the floodgates for abnormal growth. Next on our cancer-fighting list, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. These aren't just salad fillers. They're nutrient-dense biological warriors, bursting with vitamins, chlorophyll, and compounds like sulforaphos that detoxify and disarm free radicals. Leafy greens act like cellular janitors. They sweep toxins out, calm inflammation, and most importantly, support your liver. Why the liver? because it's your frontline organ for eliminating carcinogens. Every chemical, pesticide, and synthetic additive you ingest goes straight to your liver for filtration. Leafy greens make sure that system works like a well-oiled machine. Now imagine combining leafy greens with our next heavy hitter, broccoli. Broccoli is more than a side dish. It's a potent anti-cancer powerhouse. Packed with glucosinolates, it triggers your body to produce sulforaphane, a compound that not only detoxifies cancer-causing agents, but also stops tumor formation at the DNA level. In lab studies, sulforaphane has been shown to neutralize benzene, a known carcinogen found in cigarette smoke and car exhaust. It even helps regulate estrogen, especially important in hormone-sensitive cancers like breast and prostate. But don't stop at broccoli. Cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage belong to the same cruciferous family. Every bite helps build an internal environment where cancer can't grow unchecked. So far, we've starved cancer with healthy fats, swept toxins with leafy greens, and blocked carcinogens with cruciferous veggies. But inflammation, that silent, smoldering fire, still needs to be addressed. Enter turmeric. This bright golden root doesn't just spice up curries. It contains curcumin, one of the most studied anti-inflammatory compounds in modern science. Curcumin blocks inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that signal the immune system to attack. In normal conditions, inflammation helps heal wounds. But in chronic cases, like when you're constantly consuming seed oils, processed sugar, or even overtraining, inflammation becomes destructive. It damages cells, mutates DNA, and creates the perfect storm for cancer to thrive. That's why turmeric pairs beautifully with ginger, another anti-inflammatory root that doubles as a powerful antioxidant and immune booster. Ginger reduces nausea, helps digestion, and most importantly, interferes with inflammatory pathways in the same way pharmaceutical drugs do, without the side effects. Just a slice of fresh ginger in hot water becomes a powerful elixir for your gut, immunity, and cellular health. And now we come to one of cancer's sweetest enemies, berries. Don't be fooled by their size. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they're tiny nutrient bombs, rich in anthocyanins, flavonoids, and polyphenols. These compounds reduce oxidative stress, improve cell signaling, and even trigger apoptosis, a fancy word for cell death, in cancer cells. Yes, you heard that right. Berries help your body kill cancer cells by activating programmed cell death. That's something chemotherapy tries to do. But berries do it naturally, gently, without collateral damage to healthy tissues. Want more? Berries also regulate blood sugar, meaning they don't flood your body with glucose the way processed desserts do. So far, we've looked at foods that block cancer. But what about those that boost your internal defenses? That's where mushrooms come in. Not your typical white button mushrooms, but powerful varieties like shiitake, maitake, and reishi. These contain beta-glucans, compounds proven to stimulate the immune system, increase white blood cell production, and improve the activity of natural killer cells, the very immune cells that seek and destroy abnormal tissue. Now for the food that pulls it all together. Fatty fish like wild-caught salmon and sardines. Loaded with omega-3s, they calm inflammation, balance hormones, support liver function, and protect against oxidative stress. And last but not least, garlic. Loaded with allicin, this natural antibiotic fights infection, supports gut health, detoxifies the liver, and boosts the immune system, while also interrupting cancer growth at multiple points. These 10 foods don't cure cancer. They make your body unwelcoming to it. Subscribe and watch our next video. It could be the most important 10 minutes you spend on your health this year.